Welcome back to Homeschool 101. In Lesson 5, we discussed purchasing curriculum, and when all of those packages start arriving, you're going to need a place to store your materials. You're also going to need a place to work. Let's talk about it. This is Lesson 6, and there are 4 things that I want you to remember about your homeschool space. First of all, your space doesn't have to look like anyone else's. I know that you know that, but I'm here to remind you, social media can make us feel so badly about our houses. Back when I started homeschooling, it was blogs. We all had mommy blogs, and people liked to post pictures of their homeschool space, and then they would link them up in what was called a blog hop. And you would get onto somebody's blog post, and right there would be 100 links to different blogs, all showing you pictures of their homeschool spaces. And you could look at those, and you could get ideas, and you could log off and realize, my house stinks. We did get good ideas from each other, but it also made you feel very unsatisfied with what you had. And that's never a good feeling. Look, it just needs to work for your family, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. Secondly, decide where homeschool is going to happen in your house and where you're going to keep your supplies and materials. And those do not have to be in the same place. You do need both places. You might have a whole room of your house to devote to homeschooling. Great. You can store everything in there as well. Maybe you only have the kitchen table to work at. I've done both. We started at the dining room table, and for years and years, I wanted a homeschool room. And when I finally got one, guess what? I found out I didn't like being stuck in that room all day. It was kind of disappointing. I found out that I much preferred to be in the main part of the house where life happens. So I could have one kid working at the table, somebody else reading on the couch, and I was right there in between them, washing the dishes, folding the laundry, working on my computer, and everybody was inside of me. We were just doing life and homeschooling at the same time. It wasn't something we had to go sit in a special room to do. Homeschooling has to fit your daily life. Most people can't just stop doing everything and only teach. Meals still need to be made. Babies still need to be changed and fed, and work still has to be attended to. So find a central place in your house where you can keep an eye on everybody. Is there a place nearby that you can store your books and materials? If not, put them in another room. It is nice to be able to close the door when you're done with school and say, we're done with that for now. Nobody wants to look at school stuff all the time. Wherever you decide to put it, it needs to be safe from little ones and from pets. So do you have a bookshelf, a cabinet with doors that shut, a spare closet, even crates? One year when we had a newborn, I knew I was going to be in the living room a lot, sitting on the couch, messing with the baby. So we all homeschooled in the living room that year. And I got the girls milk crates, the plastic crates. And all of their books and materials would go in there. And at the end of the day, they stack very nicely in the corner or in a closet. And you can carry them around the house, take them to the table to work, take them in the backyard to work. Very nice, very compact way to store everything. Another thing, when we worked in our dining room, which is our kitchen, we don't have a kitchen and a dining room, it's just the one. But when we worked in there, we had got a used china cabinet off of Facebook Marketplace, and I put contact paper on the windows that looked like rice paper, so you couldn't really see the mess behind the doors, and everything for school fit in that cabinet. But our dining room still looked like a dining room at the end of the day. It was very nice. So think, where could you store the materials? Third, make your homeschool space functional. You are likely going to use several spaces for homeschool, not just one area of your house. For some subjects, the table will be important. I tell my girls, if you're doing something where your handwriting really matters, you need to sit at the table, not on the couch, not on your bed. And sometimes everybody needs to be able to gather around a table. We had a much younger girl, the newborn that I spoke about. When she got a little bigger, I bought a junior chair from IKEA. It looks just like they look like our dining room chairs, but it brought her up to the level that she needed to be and didn't have to sit in a booster. That way she could sit up and work at the table at the right height. It was a great purchase. So sometimes everyone needs to be at the table, and other times everyone needs more casual seating. Is there a place in your living room where everyone can gather for reading and things like that? We screencast to our TV a lot, and we use YouTube during school a lot. And so there needs to be a place everyone can sit and see the television sometimes during school. If they're writing in the living room, they can use the coffee table, a TV tray, or even a lap desk. Are computer screens part of your school day? You're going to want to be in sight of everybody's screens. It's important. And they're going to need outlets. Everybody needs good task lighting. Some older kids might work better at a desk in their room. Some kids always need to have a parent nearby. You know your kids best. There will be homeschool materials like school supplies, like scissors, markers, pencils. These need to be accessible to your students, but not to their little brothers and sisters. If you're working in the main part of the house, consider how you will turn it back into a home at the end of the school day for evenings, for weekends, for holidays, so you aren't always looking at school stuff. Nobody wants to eat Thanksgiving dinner while staring at their math book. And finally, start simple. Your next step is just to walk around your house and decide what needs to be cleaned out or rearranged or repurposed or maybe purchased to make your home work best for homeschooling. See what you already have that might work. Don't invest a lot of money right now. Until you get going, you can't really know how you're going to use the space. Just make it functional for now. You can always add to it or change things later. You might want to buy some used furniture from Facebook Marketplace. Oh, and at the beginning of back to school, a lot of stores have their dorm room stuff on sale. It's very inexpensive and it's great organizational stuff for homeschoolers. So make a list, make a plan, and get everyone involved making your home the best space for your homeschool. Next up, join me for Lesson 7. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty and discuss calendars, schedules, and record keeping. We're nearly done. I'll see you there.